Welcome everyone back to Weekly Weather Updates, and this evening we'll have a look at the latest from the GFS, the GEM, the ECMWF, the UK Met Office, and we'll have a look at the GFS Ensembles as well. We'll also in this video have a look at the precipitation charts from the GFS and the GEM, as we are now starting to see the potential for snow in the 7 to 10 day time frame. We'll start to have a look at that. Not exact details because it is still quite far away, but just the potential now. We could be seeing some quite heavy snowfall this time next week. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to follow on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So we have been looking at, over the last few days and last sort of couple of weeks, at the potential of seeing a very cold end to November, and it has come to fruition within the models over the last sort of 3 or 4 days, and we are now pretty much concrete going to be getting quite a cold blast. Few different waves of sort of cold blasts. Initially, a colder spell at the end of this weekend into next week, before it turns a little bit milder as the high pressure topples, but by no means warm at all, before we see another really cold northerly blast in around a week's time. And the extent of that northerly blast is still yet to be determined, and how long it lasts and how cold it gets, simply because of its slight different orientations in the higher pressure can change what we see. So if we do run through the GFS, we'll have a look at its precipitation charts in a minute, which are looking very, very interesting, I must say so myself. Now, if we do run through, you can see at the moment we just have generally high pressure over the top of the UK, which means it's generally quite dry, but there is a bit of cloud around and some drizzly showers, especially further northwards. The first sort of northerly wind comes in through Saturday into Sunday, where we see quite a cold northerly wind move through with a colder air mass. You can see the -5 line does get through most of Scotland, and it does start to head through southern areas as well, cooling it down quite considerably as well. We could be seeing maybe some snow showers, especially over higher ground across northern England and Scotland as well. I doubt we'll see anything too wintry anywhere else, as we do generally have quite a lot of high pressure around, so it's going to be difficult for the convection to get going. But you can't rule out maybe the odd wintry shower across the eastern side of the British Isles throughout Sunday or Monday, especially overnight. Beyond that, you can see the high pressure does topple, temporarily bringing in some milder air, but you can see the brutally cold air to our north plunging out of Greenland, heading our way. You can see a big cold pool spreads across the UK from around Wednesday, Thursday, so in a week's time. Now, the one thing we do need to watch out for is what is happening with the jet stream. Now, the jet stream is massively amplified heading up towards Greenland, and it's basically where you see this big temperature contrast, and we're on the colder side of that northerly blast. But one thing we've got to keep an eye out for are these low pressure systems that are developing along the jet stream in the gap between the very cold air and the mild air. These could be real snowmakers. However, they could sort of make some people a little bit annoyed, because it will have a milder side and a colder side. Milder side, rain; colder side, snow. And as we see this low pressure move through, you can see it actually does bring quite a bit of milder air in initially. Now, especially over higher ground and further northwards, where we've had the colder air for longer, we could be seeing snow with this. For the south, could be more rain, and you'll see why that is with the precipitation charts in a minute. Beyond that, though, the cold air gets dragged back in, and we see another one of these low pressure systems move through. Again, will be snow on its northern and western edge as it does move through, and it sort of sits around in the cold air mass, and we stay bitterly cold all the way to the end of the run, and continually seeing these sort of northerly blasts move through with sort of variations in temperatures as well. So very interesting to see what happens over the next sort of few weeks. The GFS run has it very sustained, and we could be seeing some real snowmakers in there, but they are likely to be marginal, especially in the south, especially further westwards as well. We are closer to that Atlantic air. So if we do have a look at the precipitation charts, just to give us an idea of what we could be seeing with that. If we do skip over the next few days, and you generally some showers in the north and maybe some persistent rain, or maybe a bit of snow mixing through on Sunday, especially in the north, we could be seeing some snow there, but nothing too major throughout Sunday afternoon into Monday. Beyond that, early next week, nothing too big again. Maybe a few showers moving in, and then by Wednesday into Thursday, you can start to see the snow showers spreading in from the north. Quite heavy snow showers, especially in the north along the eastern coast, but you can see there is some rain mixed in it. Lower levels still likely to be seeing some rain at this time, or some sleety mix, and especially in the day. Beyond that, you can see we are even seeing snow to the Midlands, central southern England, but again, it's a bit of a mix, and it's all going to be down to very subtle differences. It's going to be marginal, some of the events. Beyond that, we do see again quite a few snow showers into the east before we see a big weather front move in by Thursday afternoon. Heavy snow. Could be seeing an amber warning with that, with severe snowfall, especially across Scotland and the eastern side of northern England. That spreads southwards, initially snow on its eastern edge, but mixes in some milder air, so turns to rain. And this is what I'm saying, is if this low pressure was shifted a bit further southwards and westwards, this would more be snow. We are still a good 7+ days out, so these things can change quite drastically, but again, very marginal. And as this low pressure moves through, you can see on its back edge, it does start to turn to snow once again across Scotland, and we see another low pressure system bump into the cold air, heavy snow across the Midlands, northern England, and then again on its back edge turning to snow even in the south and southeast. Severe snowfalls could be seen with this, but as I said, it could be wintry mixes as well. And beyond that, we just stay with a lot of mixture between snow, rain, whenever that Atlantic air does mix in. But you can just see very unsettled, a lot of rain and snow showers around, and very, very potentially severely cold weather. If we have a look at snow depth, just to give us the potential, don't take these literally by any means, but just gives you the potential, we could be seeing across Scotland widely 10 to 20 centimetres of snow. Across northern England, a good few centimetres, could be higher than that. You can see that generally the snow line is over higher ground, but could come to lower levels at times. And you can see whenever these heavy snowfall move through, could be seeing 5 to 10 centimetres really anywhere. And as that heavy snowfall moves through next Sunday, for example, on this GFS run, could be seeing 10 to 20 centimetres even in the Midlands, East Anglia into the southeast and London area. We could also be seeing a lot of convection around. I know there are some viewers in the southwest, and on these maps it's not showing anything massively there, but it's more likely to be convection there if we do see those. And again, it will be marginal because, of course, it is the end of November. I must stress that it is the end of November, so it is always going to be marginal. And right towards the end of the run, you can see 0.5 metre of snow across Scottish Highlands. Elsewhere, potentially melting away, but could still be seeing some heavier snowfalls at times. It could be a scenario where it snows, it melts, it snows, it melts, and that's what we could be seeing over the next few weeks. But very interesting seeing what's going to be happening, as we've been seeing this for a good couple of weeks now, and it's very, very nice to see this actually come to fruition. A cold end to November. Now, if we have a look at the GM, see how it does compare, you can see again, high pressure moving out into the North Atlantic, bringing down northerly winds. The high pressure topples, and then we see the cold blast move in. Quite cold air mixing in, but you can see we don't have as much of those sort of small low pressure systems mixing in from the North Atlantic, which means more areas are going to be under the colder air, and it's more likely to be convection, which is going to be bringing snow instead of persistent frontal systems, which are more likely to be marginal, but then marginal frontal systems are more likely to give the bigger dumps of snow. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens regardless. And if we have a look at the precipitation charts from the GM, you can see generally again showers in the north, nothing too major, and they sink southwards. And then through Monday, Tuesday, nothing too major. Again, the GM does underdo convection a little bit, so do take these with a pinch of salt. And then by Monday, you can start to see a weather front moving from the north, snow showers over the tops of the mountains. By Thursday afternoon, starting to see snow through many areas, even in central southern England, and heavy snowfall, in fact, with that, even in the south. And again, there will be a wintry mix. You can see bits of white, bits of blue. It's going to be a wintry mix within it, but showing snowfall really anywhere, even along the southwest, could be seeing some snow at times, and coastal areas as well. We could just be seeing, within this unstable flow, we could just be seeing big areas of heavy snow move through at times. And again, we won't have the details on this until a good maybe couple days out. At this stage, looking at a week out, it's just speculative, just looking at the potential. that there is, as we are pretty bang on now with the pressure patterns, which have been giving us headaches over the last few days as to whether it's direct northerly or a bit more of a northwesterly. It now does look like it's pretty much direct northerly, and it all depends on what happens with these small low pressure systems that could be developing, could give heavy snowfall for some, but could also introduce milder air. That means maybe in areas in the west and the south, it's more primarily rain. So we just got to keep an eye out what happens over the next few days heading into end of next week, where the interest really does ramp up. Now, if we have a look at the ECMWF, you can see again, generally quite cold over towards the end of this weekend, and then the high pressure retrogresses up towards Greenland, and we see a bitterly cold northerly wind. Now, this does something again similar to the GFS. Very cold initially, and then we see one of these low pressure systems move in with some milder air, which could turn things to rain temporarily. And then we see again back edge of that system back into the very cold air, and it goes back to sort of freezing conditions once again. So it's going to be marginal if we do see a scenario like this. I must stress that not all precipitation falling out of the sky will be snow. It is the end of November. The air mass is cold. It is bitterly cold for this time of year, but it's not a beast from the east. It's not sustained sort of minus 10, minus 15 degrees at 850 HPA. It is only going to be around minus 5, and at coldest minus 10, maybe in the north. So it is going to be marginal at times. So I must stress that. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up that they're going to be guaranteed snow. It's quite likely that all areas at times could be seeing some winteriness fall from the sky, but by no means is it going to settle, and by no means are you going to see massive dumps like some people may see. So we do now have a look at the UKMO Office Run, which is, again, only goes up to 168 hours, but it's one of the sort of best models for forecasting. You can see right out to 168 hours into that northerly flow, and we are on the cusp of pulling that very cold air in by next Thursday, early hours of next Thursday. Bitterly cold air just to our north, and we will be spreading that in. Give it another day or so, and you can have a look at the United Kingdom. Look, the -5 line across the north, -10 line just off the north of Scotland. Still maybe a degree or around 0 or -1 in the south, but it will be rapidly sort of getting colder, and you can see there probably will be quite a big cold front along this edge here between -5 and the much milder air. Initially rain, but could be turning to snow on its back edge. Very interesting to watch out what happens with that coming next Wednesday, next Thursday. A lot of interesting things we've got to be watching out for, little systems, potentially included fronts, and the cold front spreading through as well. A lot to get into over the next week or so. So we do have a look at the ensembles of the GFS. You can see at the moment we are quite mild, around 10 degrees at 850 HPA, before we do drop considerably colder towards the weekend, down to -3, -4 degrees, but again, it's under the high pressure, so not too many showers around, probably most likely frosts around. Then you can see temperatures rise maybe by a degree or so to a couple degrees below average for the middle of next week, and then by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, depending on the exact ensemble, it does drop very cold, down to -6, -7, or even colder with some of the other ensemble members. So we haven't quite figured that out, the exact extent of the cold. And beyond that, we do see temperatures rise once again by a couple degrees, but to -5, still a good few degrees below average, and it stays like that for a good few days. Only by the first couple of days of December do we start to see some milder ensemble runs push in. Now, this is basically meaning the ensembles and the operational model is definitely suspecting that the blocking high will hang around for a good week or so. So that's very encouraging to see if you are wanting colder weather regardless, because even if the air mass is only in sort of -5 degrees at 850 HPA, the longer it hangs around, the colder it will get. So the more likely you see precipitation fall as sort of a wintry mix or snow. So that is encouraging for any winter lovers out there. In the longer term, though, generally still pretty chilly, and I do expect this blocking to hang around. This could be a theme going ahead for the first month or so of winter, sustained blocking, and we'll have to see really what happens with it. But at this stage, it is looking pretty chilly indeed. If you have a look at the dew points, you can also see around freezing or below freezing for a good 10 days, which does mean, again, everything falling out of the sky will have the potential of falling as snow. Dew point is just one of the things that we need to be at freezing or below to be snowfall. But again, there are some other factors as well that we've got to consider near the time. If you have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, you can see generally for London it's looking around 3, 4, 5 degrees. But again, these are the lower resolution ensembles forecasting this. Once we get to high resolution time nearer or start of next week, really, we'll be able to have a look at temperatures a lot better, and I suspect it'll be more around 2 to 4 degrees and below freezing at night. That's what I suspect at this stage. It could be a couple degrees either way, though, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. If you have a look at the new snow depth spikes as well, you can see snow depth spikes are appearing. Don't take these too literally, but just gives you encouraging signs that the ensembles are also potentially looking at snow as well. If you have a look at Glasgow further northwards, you can see again quite a few snow spikes around. If we have a look at the 2 metre temperatures, you can see a good degree or two colder than London, but that is expected further northwards, with highs around 1 or 2 degrees, lows below freezing. Really starting by Sunday, temperatures are not going to be getting much above 5 degrees for potentially a good 2 weeks. So very interesting with that, and there is a lot of precipitation around when those initial low pressures come in from the north, so it could be quite a snowfall event, especially over Scotland and over higher ground. Have a look at dew points. You again see pretty much below freezing for a good 10 days. And look at the 850 HPA temperature precipitation. You can see broadly similar to London in terms of the curve, but a good maybe degree colder as it is that bit further northwards. So it gets that colder air first, and that colder air is just that little bit colder as it hasn't got cooled down or warmed up, let's just say, by the relatively warm ground we do have right now. So it could be very interesting watching this over the next week or two. So do make sure you stay tuned to my forecast and Met Office warnings as well, as I do suspect there will be some warnings around. Now, if we finally do wrap up the video just by having a look at the next 5 days from the UK Met Office run, which is high resolution model, so it should forecast this really quite well. You can see at the moment a few showers around across Scotland, nothing too major. And then tomorrow again, a few showers across Scotland, many areas just cloudy, maybe a few patchy areas of drizzle as well. And then we start to see weather fronts push in from the north by Saturday evening into Sunday. Snow showers across the north. Could be seeing a yellow warning for snow for that, for some convection. Could even be seeing some snow showers across northern England as well, especially over high ground. Maybe even a wintry mix potentially for some of these showers in the east. Not guaranteed to be seeing snow, but given temperatures will probably be falling down to around freezing at night, you couldn't rule out maybe a few wintry showers. And then by Monday, we're seeing the high pressure topple, so things coming a bit cloudy again, and a few showers around, but nothing too major. Things we've got to be watching is for the end of that working week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday time. That's when the cold really gets going. You can see today we saw temperatures around 12-13 degrees, so nothing too cold, actually really quite mild. By Friday, temperatures in the afternoon around 13-14 degrees, but the big drop-off will be Saturday into Sunday. You can see by Saturday afternoon, temperatures across Scotland, 2, 3, 4 degrees, across the south, a good 10 degrees higher, 12, 13, 14 degrees. Overnight Sunday, you can see in the south, temperatures dropping to maybe 5, 6, 7 degrees. Across Scotland, northern England, Northern Ireland, getting really quite cold, close to freezing, if not below freezing across Scotland. By Sunday in the day, a really quite chilly day, I must say. 5, 6, 7 degrees in the south, around freezing or just a couple of degrees above freezing in the north. And overnight Monday, all areas really getting close to freezing. A good couple of degrees below freezing across Northern Ireland, Scotland, Northern England, and parts of the Midlands, Wales as well. For the far southeast, maybe holding above freezing. By Monday afternoon, still really quite chilly, around 6, 7, 8 degrees in the day, and that's probably going to be the highest temperature we're going to be seeing potentially for a couple of weeks now, as it does look like this cold spell really is going to be coming in and staying around. You can see by Tuesday early hours a frost in the south as well. Now, anyone out there who really does enjoy snow, this is sort of important to be seeing these sort of frosts before any wintriness does come along, because it's pretty typical for anything early season or around sort of milder spells as well, which we've had really, if you think about it, above 10-degree temperatures, the ground's too mild. It does do some quite significant damage to any snowfall we do see. So that's an important thing if you are enjoying wintriness and you want to build a snowman or something, to see these ground temperatures fall considerably over the next 5 days or so before the wintry potential does start. So it's looking very interesting over the next few weeks, so do stay tuned to my videos. Make sure you check out the Met Office warnings when I do suspect they will, as I do suspect they will be issued, potentially for Sunday, Monday, maybe an ice or snow warning across Scotland, but really anywhere could be seeing a snow warning potentially come the end of next working week. Very interesting what's happening over the next few weeks. We're seeing potentially a historic cold spell in terms of end of November, which we haven't seen for many, many years. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you again for another video soon.